Hi there folks, welcome back to my channel. It's Handmade by Shirley. Thank you to all my present subscribers and my new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying watching my videos. So I've not been on for a few days because I've just been busy doing some other stuff. So I'm now free to do a bit of crafting. So I've got this piece of 12 by 12. Well, it's actually the back of something, but that's fine. So it's 12 by 12 because I didn't have really any 12 by 12 paper. And what I'd like to do is make a 12 by 12 wreath. Now, so a big wreath. I've got various retired Stampin'Up stamps. And yeah, I'm then going to cut this up into to make card fronts with. So what you could do, I'm just going to do it by eye, but what you could do if you wanted to be helped do this particular wreath is draw a circle round so that the wreath, you can follow a sort of line. So I don't actually have a circle. I've got, this is the biggest circle I've got. So what you could do is just get a big circle, whether it's a plate or a saucer, probably a medium-sized plate, and then just draw around that in pencil, and then the actual line that you've drawn would be your guideline for all your stamped images that are going to go on it. Or if you don't want to do that, what you can actually do is start off with a large stamped image. So as I say, these are really old Stampin'Up stamps. I just kept some of the ones I liked. So find an image, one of the stamps, and just do a couple of these big images onto a block. So this is a very old block. So I'm trying to see, yeah, that's the bit. So what I mean by is choose your colour, whatever colour is you want it to be, ink it up. Now this flower is actually an infill. There was an outline to it, but I'm not going to bother doing an outline because I just want to stamp. So at 3 points, or 4 points actually, on the 12 by 12, you could then stamp an image. So I'm going to do it at as if 12 o'clock. Okay. And 3 o'clock will be the next one. O'clock, and then the next one will be 6 o'clock. Not 3 o'clock, I should have said 1/4 the hour. So the next one is 1/2 the hour. So just trying to keep the sheet. I'll just try and do it exactly down below. Now I know you can't see that particularly, but it is there. So there we have it. And then 1/4 the hour on the other side. And that also gives you a guideline to doing it as well. There we go. And then you can then fill in smaller flowers, leaves, dotty bits, whatever else. Okay, so that gives you a guideline to that. So I'm then going to use a slightly smaller flower to put, let's see, so just filling it in as we go along. There's lots of different ways you can actually do it. So let's just get this smaller flower here. And it can go on really need to tidy up my desk. It's such a mess, you know. You wouldn't believe the mess. You just can't see it behind here, which is maybe a good thing. Right, I'm going to use some, let me see what I'll use. I've got this chipped sapphire ink. I'm just going to use that for this flower. So this is a much smaller flower from that same set. So just going round, adding a wee flower at the side of that. Doesn't matter if you go over it slightly, it doesn't matter. I'm going to put one at the opposite side as well, and I think I'm going to have to bring you down a bit again. So it's just a case of filling in between to create that circle shape that you're looking for. Now I've got another ink, which is scattered straw. I'm going to use the same flower again. So just and it will start to come together. At the moment you'll think, that doesn't look like much, does it? But it will come together in a moment. Right, let's just leave these two there. So let's go on to something else. So I'm going to add this little leaf here. So I want the leaf to look as if it's coming out of the flower, behind the flower. So I don't want to put it over the flower. If I wanted to, I would just ink up to this bit here. So I'll show you what I mean. So I could do that. So I've got this shady lane ink. So if I just want to see the leaves and a wee bit of the stalk, I'm only inking up to there, and then I can just put that there, and then that kind of looks like it's coming out of just, and then I can do another generation stamp, and then that looks. So we'll just do that again. I've done it the whole thing this time, so I'm just going to pull it up to there, and then I'm going to do a second generation again, and that then begins to make it look like it's just coming behind the actual flower head. So I can do that again over here, and then second generation there. So keep going round. See, if it goes over like that, we don't really want that, but I'm not bothered, I can fix that. So it's starting to take shape a bit more now. Now, I first learned to do this, well, I was inspired to do it by somebody called Ruth Trice Magnus, who is Artful Stamper on YouTube. So she has some great videos on this technique if you're interested in checking her out. So, and then just add some into the middle as well and bring it in to the middle, and that just adds some more. I'll just do the different colour, so this slightly lighter green. Now I'm going to wipe off that bit because I don't want that, I only want it to go to there. And then I'm just going to do it there and there for that one, and the same thing. So just wiping that back to that piece there. So coming round here like that, and then it just looks like that it's actually coming from the flower or behind it is not, you know, coming over it. Let's do it here as well. One there, like that, and then another one. So it's just about filling in. So once you've got your 3 main pieces, you can then just add all the other bits to it that you want and use any stamps that you've got in your stash. These are ones that I kept from Stampin' Up that I like, and I do use them from time to time. So I think we'll pop the lid on these for now. So it is starting to come together, I think. I think it looks rather nice. Now let's just see what else we can pop in. So you can pop in things like textury bits as well if you want, so to fill in. You don't have to, but that is another idea. So there's some more leaves in this one. So there's this eucalyptus type leaf, which is really nice. And I'm going to use the grey. I'm going to use some Morning Mist from Versifying Clair for this one. So I just want to again rub off that stalk at the end, and I just want to add that in there, and I might do another bit just there. So that just added to it a wee bit. Let's do one there, one here. So that is just adding to it. So I'll come up a bit so you can actually see what actually I'm doing. So there we go. I hope that's better for you. So let's do another bit of eucalyptus in grey. Let's go to this bit here. And there for that one. And then the last top one, I'll just add this as well. So it's first generation and second generation is quite nice stamping. So let's see, one there and one just there. So that's quite nice. That's looking nice. So that's starting to get filled in again. So let's add something else. So what else leaves? Let's go for, let's try this leaf here again, and we'll go for let's go for what we do. I'm trying to see. I do have some that are, that's an ink. I've got pine needles, that's an ink. That. I'm just going to just wipe that away as well at the stalk, because I don't want, I only want a bit of it in. So you can see how it does start to come together. It's just a case of marking either with a circle and going round the circle, the actual circle line, or it's either doing this, finding your four points, and then just doing it that way. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this up and make it into cards. So you can cut it up into 4. You could use 3 cards. More than that, I should say. You could have 6 cards. It just depends, looking at the actual stamped image at the end. If you know, that's the only way you can kind of decide what you're going to do. So there and second generation there. So it is starting to come together and it's got a nice flow all the way round. So there's a few spaces here, so I'm going to come in with something a bit more smaller that we can kind of get that to join up together. So we'll pop the leaves away for now. Oh, there is this one as well, which would be nice to have in it. We'll do that as well. But first of all, I'm going to try and bring it sort of more together with something. Let's see how I could do that with. I think I could use one of these sort of textured backgrounds. So what I'm going to do is I don't want to use, I want to stamp off the image. So just to bring a bit of colour, other colour into orange. You don't have orange, but we don't have to. So I'm just going to put Clair onto this. Clair, that one's called Summertime. But I'm going to stamp off onto a piece of card so that when I stamp, let me just see, second generation, third generation on, it's not going to be that dark. So it just gives it a wee bit of something. So 1, 2, 3, and it just kind of fills it in a bit as well again. 1, 2, 3, so it kind of fills it in again. 1, 2, 3, and just there. And then again. And it doesn't matter that I've stamped over what I've already stamped on, because that just kind of gives it a bit more texture. Coming in the opposite way. So the same thing, 1, 2, 3, opposite way. And then 1, 2, 3. That way, and then I'll do it once more, and that kind of fills it in a bit as well. 2, 3, there we go. So that's quite nice. Hopefully you can see all that. And then let's see, what else can we add in? I've got this nice flowing kind of leaf, and also this script leaf as well, which could be used as a filler. So these are all kind of fillers, so you can pop them in just there, or it could come off like that somewhere. So, and then I've got this one, so I want to do this one first because this is quite nice as well as a filler. So I'm going to use this time, I think I will use, we'll just use the pine needles because they're Distress Oxides, and what I'll do with them as well is I'll stamp off first onto a piece of card, and then that'll lighten it up, and then I'll just bring it in, and then I can do a second generation stamp there. So just the same, exactly the same, stamp off, and then do, let me see, where will I do it here? 1, 2, like that. And stamping off. Let's do this one here, one there, and one there. And that just then again fills it in. Stamp off. We don't have one here, do we? Let's see, the just coming off from there. That's fine. And then that's a wee filler as well, so you can really see it is starting to come together now. So we've got this one, which is quite big. So I'm going to what colour will I use this time? I'm going to use some pumice stone on this. So I'm just inking up really the kind of bottom area. I've not got right to the top of it. Just gone to the bottom and I'm just kind of coming in here, this area. So you can very barely see it. So it looks like it's kind of on that trellis type bit as well. That bit of stamped, which was just really to fill it in a bit. So that's the same thing. You can turn it round as well if you want to see it a bit better from a different angle, but it's coming together. It's really, really nice, and we're nearly done filling it up, so we don't have to do too much more to it, because I don't want to overpower it with too much either. But there is a few wee tiny bits that could get filled in, like these kind of wee bits here, these wee bits here, and so forth. So that's that one. Give that a bit of a clean off. Put that on there. I don't think I'll put the script on it this time. Right, so I'm just looking for something really to fill it in now a bit more. That one goes on here. So I've got some other little small flowers that I could add, which are across here, that I didn't bring out. I'm just getting those really small flowers, and I've had these for years. So they're actually quite falling apart. Let's see. So let's see if we can pop some of these tiny little flowers in to the spaces. So there's these two. So if we just take that one off, so there's this one, which we could do first. So we're going to colour that in. Let's do it in the orange. So we're just going to fill these wee spaces in, like this wee space. That can get filled in. It's quite bright, isn't it? Should have maybe... It's still a bit too... It's not bright enough. It doesn't matter. So just filling in a couple of areas that I think need filled in. There we go. And then we've got a tiny one, even smaller one, which I'm going to add to it with the... Let's do some dusty concord as well. And this little one, so that can go there. Could have one there, there. So it's really starting to fill up now, isn't it? Yeah. That's enough of that on there. And then I've got an even smaller one, which is tiny, tiny, dinky, dinky. This one is toty. So let's just close these over just now. just get this peacock feathers one. So this is the wee dinky one. We could put that just on there. Maybe in there. So there's a tiny one that can just kind of fill in wee bits here and there. Let's see. Cool. Right, so let's see what else we could use for this one. No, I don't think we can use any more of those. So we also want to add one more wee bit, so it's a bit dottiness, which is quite nice to have. So you just pick a colour you want to dot around, and then that will be us done, really. What's that? What is that? Sorry, bear with me as I try and find something that will look nice with this dotty. Just a couple of wee bits round about, really, just to fill it in. So I think we need a bit of a sort of deeper colour. Let's try some mustard seed. See what this is like. Makes any difference. It's quite nice. What about the other? Actually, I've got fossilized amber, which it might be nicer than this. Well, I don't mean nicer, but a slightly different colour, not as bright. So we're just going to put one bit there, and I'm going to do it again, just a bit there, bit here, bit there. And I think that's me done. 12 by 12 wreath. So I like it, and I hope you do. Hope you like it too. So the next thing you can do is you can actually cut it into 6 pieces. Now, what I should have got was a piece of I don't know if I've got it here. Let me see. Oh, I've got a piece of vellum here. I can show you how you could cut it into 6 and make it into 6 card fronts. So if you use your vellum over it and you say, well, that could be 1, 2, like you could, what you could do is cut it in half. So if you cut it to 6 by 12, okay, so if we cut it to 6, and it'll still be by 12 because it's a 12 by 12 piece. So you look at it and you think, oh, I don't want to cut it right there, I'd rather cut it in the middle, so it's slightly more than 6. We'll cut it in between those 2 flowers, so it's slightly over, so it will be, depend on where your design is. So my design, I don't want to cut it, I wouldn't want to cut it there. I'd want to cut it slightly over so it's in the middle, so it's a bit over 6, it's 6 1/4. So I would get it to where it needs to be. It's actually nearer 6 1/2, but and then I'd cut it up the middle, and it's slightly bigger on one side, but that's okay because that was where it was the bit I wanted it. So then you can then get a pen and you could say, oh, I'm going to cut 3 cards out of that. I mean, you don't have to. This would be a template. That's what Ruth did, but I mean, you don't have to. And then you could then say, so that's 12 by 12 on the top. So I could have 4 pieces at 4. So you'd look and you think, oh, could have that piece would be okay for the front of a card, I think. And then I could have another piece at 4. And that would be quite nice for the front of a card because you could just add a sentiment. You could do the same there. And then this piece would be fine as well. So that's 3 cards you've got. And then your next piece, you could do exactly the same, or you could make them smaller. So if I wanted to make that 4, so I'm doing it at 4 because 4 3s make 12, and this length, the length of it is 12 inches. So I think that's the best way to, and I've got a bit there, but I could easily ink over that. So that's another card front. And then if I go to 4 again, and I think, I might want to make that slightly there, so I get a bit better image. So it's not 4, it's like 3 3/4. So that's made me a nicer card front. And then I want to make this, I don't want to make this 4 either because it's a bit, not sure I like that bit. So I'll cut a wee bit more of this off. Or it can always be portrait. It doesn't have to be, you know, landscape. It could be portrait. That one's probably landscape. That one could be portrait as well. That one landscape or portrait, I guess. And that definitely would be landscape for me. And that one I think would be landscape for me as well. So that's roughly, so you can roughly get 6 cards, no wastage, out of 1 12 by 12 stamped wreath like that. So I hope you've enjoyed it watching, and I will come back and I'll make these into cards and I'll put them onto my social media. See, that one might need a bit more cutting because it just doesn't look, it looks a bit wrong. So does this one. These two look a bit like they need a bit cutting off the end here, so that's easily done. So if it doesn't look right when you've done this, if you do this, just, you know, make it look better. So that could, as I say, be a portrait one, and so could that, or it could be landscape as well, just depending on what orientation. I mean, that could be landscape. You could have your sentiment, or you could add a butterfly or something, or whatever. So you can make 6 cards out of the 12 by 12 piece. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up, share away, and subscribe if you haven't already. See you soon. Bye for now.